I made it back to Buffalo. I did have some worries other than staying in an airport for 12 hours. I'm parked. You can't there, but I'm parked across 3 spots at the airport parking. We'll talk about why another time. So it's been a long day. It's been a long day. I was talking to my wife, and she said, why do you put yourself through this? You knew there was a chance your flight would be canceled in Buffalo. You knew there was a chance they would cancel the races. You knew there was a chance you'd miss your flight home. Why? Why do that? We have all the horses to train tomorrow. You have a horse to drive at Flamborough. There's other horses. Why did you need to go? And honestly, it's my job, right? We sent LD's Patrick down to New York. LD's Patrick's a tricky horse. Not super tricky, but a little tricky, a little quirky. And unfortunately made a break behind the gate. If I don't go down to New Jersey and he races and makes another break at the gate, I'm angry, but at the same time, I don't sleep good because I'm blaming myself. So I guess I'm just trying to be proactive and do what's best for everybody. The people that own that horse, the stable, everyone. And yes, that was almost worst case scenario. As I left the airplane, the realization that there is a chance they have towed my truck. Now, I don't think I'm in a no parking zone, but I am across 3 parking spots. Got a ticket, right? I didn't get a ticket. I got my little ticket thing. Clearly, I needed to take up 3 spots. And for whatever reason, or happily, they didn't bother me. So that's a good thing. Silver lining, I guess. So obviously I got up today. Was up for just around 5 because there was a blizzard in Ontario. There was heavy winds and some snow. Hard enough if you live in Ontario, the Skyway Bridge coming into St. Catharines, whatever, was closed. So I had to go all the way around it, roaded me through the town and everything. But for once, I gave myself enough time. I got all the way here, knowing that likely my flight would be delayed when I got here. As I got closer to the Buffalo airport, the 9:40 flight was now 10:15. By the time I parked across these 3 spots, it was 10:45. I don't think we even left the ground until 11:30, something like that. And as I landed, I got a text message from Mark Beckwith saying the races were canceled. So I left the airplane. I'm angry. What are you going to do? It's Mother Nature. I left the airplane. I went directly to the ticketing agent and got on a standby list. For the 6:30 flight. Of course, I was first also eligible. Now they're crushing defeat. First also eligible on the 6:30 flight. And then the 9:30 flight, by the time we took off, it was 11 o'clock. So it's almost 1 here at the Buffalo airport. I'm going to drive home. I think it's about an hour and 35 minutes back home. I'm going to stop at the farm, drop off the truck, jump in the car, go home. I'll be home shortly after 2 a.m. And then up tomorrow at 7 because we have to train the babies tomorrow. Good news is the weather's breaking a bit. It's going to warm up throughout the day tomorrow. Bad news is I don't want it to get warm before we get all the babies trained. So we got to train them in the morning. That means 3-year-olds will go at 7. 2-year-olds will go at 8. For those of you wily enough to know how to look at the set lists, they're all on there. We had some scratches today. We had maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 now that had temperatures. You're always going to have that. This weather it's relentless. So there are some scratches tomorrow, maybe 5. But for the most part, looking forward to training tomorrow. Looking forward to getting the hell home, I can tell you that. Johnny had said to me tonight, I thought you liked layovers. Yeah, not 12-hour ones. So a long day and as fruitless as it now looks. No harm, no foul. I'm heading home right now. No free lunch looks some good. Wow, he looked awesome tonight. it all works out. You put the time in, and even when it looks like you made mistakes, sometimes they pull through. Missed that first lag because we wanted to detour around Century Hannibal. Ended up catching what looked to be a tougher field. No Free Lunch handled himself well last week. And then I don't know if you noticed or not, but the earplugs were in his ears. Tonight. I think he got 26 in a piece on the end of it. In his ears tonight, finishing up. So that's good. On the LD's Patrick front, number discussions with some stakeholders with LD's Patrick, and quite frankly, listen, there's no rush, right? Yes, I wish the classes were still in Ontario, but no, I'm not racing against aged horses with more experience. I'm just not doing it. It's not good for the horse. Eventually, we're going to run into a Locatelli or somebody that's going to eviscerate LD's Patrick, and he doesn't really strike me as the horse that likes to get beat up a whole lot. So why not race him against his own kind? Bump the gate? Yeah, in hindsight, could we have used another driver? Yeah, could have. That was a choice that I made. Just went, and it's not just that it's Brett Beckwith's fault. What happened in that race? Yes, it was his fault. I've done that. James has done that. Mark has done that. There isn't a human being that has ever driven a horse that hasn't done exactly what that kid did. So it's pretty hard to be angry at him. He's a driver, and he drove. He made a mistake. He owned it. That's life. But tonight was a rebound. Got canceled. So I talked to Mark Beckwith. I said, listen, school him at Saratoga. Race him at Saratoga. Here's the goal. All right? My goal. Now, these goals may change depending on how good he looks or depending on how ordinary he looks. This horse is worth a fair chunk of money right now. But all roads go through Yonkers. And I need everybody to understand that owns a piece of this horse that is saying, why didn't we sell him when we could have? Listen, to begin with, we bought him, which has turned out to be for next to nothing. He's worth probably 3 times what we paid for him minimum right now. But there's money to be made, right? The horse can still make a lot of money. Keep in mind, he's got 50 grand made. He can beat the hell out of the non-winners of 100 at Yonkers. I know he can. So there's a place to race him, but you need to do it properly. Relax, right? Just take your time. Race him where I should have raced him. Should have. We had a better plan, but now we'll revert to the plan we should have went with. Saratoga, next start. We'll use that as a springboard back into Yonkers. If this horse looks as good as at Yonkers as I know he is, at that point, you're going to be taking many, many phone calls from people wanting to buy him. This would be a horse with 70 on his card, 30 to make, and a bright future. That's the selling point. So, yes, it sucks. Races were canceled. Yes, it sucks that he had to leave Ontario. Yes, it sucks that he's, going to race in Saratoga instead of the Meadowlands or Yonkers. But take your time, right? We just sell a horse, wheel off 4 in a row, and everybody's happy, and we want to see him win 8 in a row. Doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you got to take a deep breath and say, okay, what are we going to do now? So he's not coming home to Ontario for the same reason he left Ontario. We're going to deviate, do what's right for the horse, school him at Yonkers. I assume he'll school well. Win at school at Saratoga. I assume he'll win at Saratoga. Then the plan would be to go back to Yonkers. Now Mark Beckwith has him set up the way he likes him. He has him set up the way he's confident to race him, not just at Saratoga, but at Yonkers. Then go back to Yonkers. Then put that good line on him, and then we can have a different conversation. That's the plan with LD's Patrick. That's it. So, a big night for the big Sunshine Beach horse. It's always nice to see a horse come back, right? This horse broke his foot last year. Come back and look so good tonight. And it really is a feather in our cap as the stable and as Harry Polton's barn to rehab that horse, and Nelly and everybody just took such great care of that horse. To have him come back and be 100%, that's a feather in their cap. That's a feather in our cap. So congratulations them, not just for the win, but for allowing this horse to become a better horse than he's ever been. And I said that last week. If you guys watch him, his gait's changed. He's more confident. He seems more powerful. This horse could have a big year for us. So very impressed with No Free Lunch tonight. We have a number of horses coming up Indigo. We get 4, all of them. Levator is Indigo Wednesday. I told you guys, the only way he'd get Indigo, I thought Jekyll and Hyde would win, and then we'd sell him. In goes Levator. Instead, they went with 3 classes, and then on was a 4. So, Mama Knows Best, Levator, Jekyll and Hyde is going. We're going to see Voyage of Ice and Fire make his 2022 debut. A lot of people saying, what happened to Matt's MVP? Told you guys, his liver was high. We're not racing him like that. Just relax. So Matt will come back with, he's not racing this Wednesday. I'll school him this Wednesday to make sure he's tight, because I was going to school Levator. I don't have to now. So this coming Wednesday up, we'll school probably a number of horses, but most definitely, I shouldn't say a number of horses. Let's just start with Matt. Matt will school on Wednesday. And you may ask yourself, why school and not race? Great question. Because we can put him in a much more stress-free and an environment that we can control a little bit more with the schooler. We know how fast we're going to go. We're going to know how we are going to train him. Much less stress than in a race. So that's why. A number of horses racing on Monday. Obviously, we got Locatelli dropped down in class, so that's cool. Tiger's still up in that open. That's not good for Tiger. And then My Mini Miracle. Again, they got her in the hours of 5. That's it. I know Harry said to me the other day she'll never get around a half. I don't care. She's going to a half. That's the way it is. We're not racing her in the hours of 5 again. When she's done racing Monday, she will be entered at Flamborough or London, her next start. Because I'm not racing her horses over. We just went through this last Monday. We're not doing that anymore. I shouldn't have done it to begin with. We were on such a great run, and then it just, we'll just try her once more. There's going to be no trying her once more. We're putting her in where she belongs. That's the non-winners of 50 for fillies and mares, 62, whatever, at London or Flamborough. And they need horses in that class, so for sure she'll get in. My Jazz drew 4 in the final. Got one of the favorites outside of us since they redrew. I was a little confused why they redrew, because the Wine and Roses canceled the same day. But the Wine and Roses is a paid money event. You had to pay into that months in advance. The pop-up series is just a pop-up with no starting fee. Therefore, it's not an added money event. So Ian Fleming and Sherry Mindler were right. I was wrong. It became pretty evident to me quite quickly I was wrong. It's not the end of the world. It'll happen. What else do we got? Saturday, we got Better Be Sawyer tomorrow. My Jazz on Sunday. All the babies training tomorrow. So big day Saturday tomorrow. Monday, we have 3 racing at Mohawk. And then Tuesday, we have Compass Rose DC. This may be your swan song. Everybody keeps saying, well, when she... Well, if she can. What do you want me to do with the... I'm not putting her in a claimer. I mean, we're going to breed her. We ever booked a breeder. I'm not just going to stuff her in a claimer to say she raced. Hopefully she can do. If she races flat, that'll be it for her. If she races great, we'll probably give her another run. But that will be up to Compass Rose DC on Tuesday, and then Wednesday we have 4 Indigo at Northfield. So trying to get everything back on track. Thursday, it appears that Kings County fits the same class. James will be back on him, which would be great for any of you that thought I drove him bad the other night. Regardless, James will be back on him. Make a few changes with Captain Mike Dio. James will be on him. Who was the other horse we raced last night? So and Sue will be going to Flamborough, her next start. That little class that Swan's Honey popped out of. Got a little something for you, honey, coming. So and Sue will be going there. So, yes, smile on my face. Yesterday sucked. Yes, I spent 12 hours in an airport in New York. All those things happen. But you know what? It's my job. I love my job. Gonna have crappy days, and if this is the worst thing that could happen to you on a bad day, then you're doing pretty good. Take care. I will talk to you all very soon. I know almost all of you had a better day than me, for sure. Take care.